disservice to the state of New York. What he's done is terrible. Businesses are fleeing, and you see that. We just released a statement on Truth. Businesses are fleeing and crime is flourishing all over the state, and what he's done is such a disservice and should never be allowed to happen again. New York State is being battered by his decision. So I greatly respect the decision of the appellate division, and I'll post either $175 million in cash or bonds or security or whatever is necessary very quickly within the 10 days. And I thank the appellate division for acting quickly. But Judge Engoron is a disgrace to this country, and this should not be allowed to happen. Thank you very much.
Do you accept foreign money?
All right, so listening to Donald Trump once again targeting that judge in the case. The judge, of course, ruled against Trump and basically said that Trump and his organization had duped insurers and other investors in order to obtain more advantageous financial terms for deals. Trump was found guilty of that, but plans to appeal, and as a result, of course, had to post that bond. Now that bond has been drastically reduced. Trump has 10 days to pay $175 million, still a huge amount of money, but much less than $500 million. Let's bring in Eric Ham, U.S. political analyst for us here at CTV. Your thoughts, Eric, on another partial victory here today for Trump?
You know, many of us did not see this coming. In fact, the thinking was that Donald Trump would either have to post a bond, come up with the cash, or New York Attorney General Letitia James would begin seizing assets. We knew that he was appealing this process, but we didn't think that it would come through in time for him to actually be able to dodge this obligation. And it did. And so this is a bit of a reprieve for Donald Trump. But the question still remains, can he actually come up with that money, the $175 million? It's unclear. But because what we do know, at least from these companies that issue these bonds, they still want the cash from Donald Trump, even if he is going to go that route. And so he still needs $175 million in 10 days. And of course, we'll be watching and waiting to see if, in fact, he can come up with that money at that time.
Yeah, Eric, some are going to see this headline and say, how come it seems like Trump is always able to get a break really at the 11th hour? What do you think's happening here? Is it sort of the legal system and how his lawyers are very good at sort of playing that system?
No, actually, this is actually very common. And for most of us who have not had to engage with the legal system, with the criminal system in the way that Donald Trump is, we're all getting, I think, a bit of an education on the system. But this is actually very common for judgments in this situation where you have a judgment, and then in terms of the bond that needs to be put up, it will be greatly reduced. In some instances, actually in many instances, we have seen bonds reduced as much as 80–90%. And so what we're now seeing is what took place today is actually no different than what actually take place in many courtrooms around civil judgments across the country.
What do you think it means for Trump's legal troubles moving ahead here, Eric, from this decision today?
Actually, this is what Donald Trump has been wanting. This is what Donald Trump has been hoping. Donald Trump has been using all of these legal entanglements as a way to fuel his candidacy for the presidency and not be able to be held accountable. And so what we see is this is a can that gets kicked down the road once again, and Donald Trump gets to be able to use this to raise money and, of course, to energize his base. And so this is what Donald Trump is hoping for. Now, of course, there is this issue of the criminal trial that was set to begin today. And we know that Judge Marchand has been hearing from both the plaintiff and the defendant as to when this case will start. And so hopefully we're expecting to get a decision today when they return from this recess as to when that will happen. And perhaps maybe then there might be some accountability, or in Donald Trump's case, he hopes that this case will be moved and delayed once again.
Yeah, that's the case involving adult film star Stormy Daniels and this alleged affair just prior to the 2016 election.
That's right. And what we heard today in this courtroom was the judge was frustrated. He was very upset. And he even went so far as to say, I don't even understand why we are here. And this was all directed at Donald Trump's lawyers, because it was Donald Trump's lawyers who made the accusation that it was the Manhattan District Attorney who somehow was working with the Southern District of New York to somehow provide a disadvantage to Donald Trump and his lawyers. And Judge Marchant said that he simply did not see that. And he even went so far as to say that information comes out and we all see it one way and you all see it and interpret it a very different way. And then it seems out of exasperation, he just abruptly recessed the courtroom, and many in the room were surprised that he did so. And so now we're waiting to see what his decision will be as to when this trial will actually begin.
Boy, you need a degree in advanced calculus to keep track of all this stuff, my friend. Thank you for this. Appreciate it. We'll talk again real soon.
You bet. Thank you.